Just wait for 5 minutes. When all are joining, then we can start. Hi, good morning. Okay, you can wait for 2 or 3 minutes, then we can start when all are joining. So, anyone have any question related to the last class? In the last class, I think we just configure. Okay, we just created this project, nothing new we can add it. Just created this project related to JWT token. So, anyone have any doubt related to JWT token, like why we need to implement this thing? Anyone have any question? You can message me here. Okay, so all are joining. We can start. Okay. So in this class today, what we can cover, here we can cover how to implement JWT token. And firstly, what we can do, firstly we can register the user, and after that we can login user with the help of username and password. And if that is valid user and password, if any user login with valid user and valid password, so that time we can generate token. So here we are using JWT token. So firstly we can do the basic configuration to set up any project. So firstly we need to install the three packages. Step one, I also write here. Like this is the basic if you do any CRUD operation in .NET. So these is basic steps you need to follow here. Step one is we need to install the three packages. And this thing we can do multiple times in the last project if you can say last video. So these things we can do multiple times. So we need to install three packages. First package will be related to anti-framework core. So is it clear for everyone why we use anti-framework core? Because it's also very important question. If you are not able to answer this question, so it's very rare chance you are selected any .NET interview. Anyone have any doubt related to anti-framework or why we install this package? So here we are using 8.0 version. So you are able to using the version 9.0. If I use the latest ninth version, the ninth framework, ninth now we are using here .NET 8.0 version. So latest will be 9 and 10. So I am using this one. So I am able to add this package. So if I install this, it will be giving version mismatch error. So I will choose all the 9.0. So I can add this. Anyone have any doubt related to anti-framework core or why we install this package? You can message me here. Like anyone have any question related to the anti-framework core or why we use and like related to this question, you can type yes or no. Like why we need to install this package anti-framework core. This one we can install here. Anyone have any doubt? You can message me here, yes or no. Then I can explain or go. Okay, so next will be our so our next package will be SQL, which database we are using. So here we are using SQL database, so we can use SQL Server. So we need to install here Microsoft Anti-Framework Core .SQL Server. So here again we can use this version 9.0.16 and install this package. So try every time try to use same version because sometime you will get the version mismatch error. And the last one tools. So this is the Microsoft anti-framework tools. So why we need to install this tools package? Because it helps to give this command, add migration, update database, remove migration. So these all commands we can get with the help of these tools. So all you are getting this issue, voice issue, or only one candidate. I am audible or not? Hello. So we can install these three packages. First one is anti-framework core. So why we use? So it is the bridge between your application and database, how database will communicate to each other, like how it will track all the changes what you added in the database, what you updated. So these all the things will be handled by anti-framework core. Second thing is SQL Server. So here we can define which database we are using here. And the last one is tools. Tools is used to add migration or update database. So every time when we are working creating any RESTful APIs, so that time we need to install these three packages. So is it clear? Anyone have any doubt related to this packages? Okay. Next thing is we need to add connection string here. So okay, so we already added this connection string here. This connection string here, we can pass our server, our database, integrated security, trust server certificate. So these things we can already added here. Okay. So next thing is we are created this user table. So here, for example, here we can added we need to register the user, so we will add the things that are related to user. For example, we can add it here public string user id, string id, that is the primary key. Second thing will be your username, or you can also write here simple name get set. Uh, you can add email. Next thing is the important thing, you need to add username and password. So when we can create a login, so we are login with the help of username and password. And then last you need to add here. So this thing we can create it here. After that we need to add our class DB context here, where we can inherit this anti framework main class, that is the DB context. So you need to go here and created the new class. So these are the basic steps we can follow in every project. So application, DB, context. So you can give any name, it's not fixed. You can give the application DB context as even same time. The important thing is where you can inherit this class. So this is the DB context class that we can get with the help of this package that we can install here, Microsoft Anti-Framework Core. So you need to add here namespace, and here you need to make the constructor, and you need to add this table. So your database table name will be user. So this name will be created in your database. So all the things we can done here. The last step is we need to add this thing in our program.cs file. So here we need to register our dependency injection, our middlewares. So these are the pre-built middlewares. So same thing is our DB context. We need to register here. Register the application. So here builder.services dot add db context. Here we can pass this name, add db context. Can copy this name and paste here. And here you need to add the namespace. And here we can get, with the help of this builder.configuration get connection string, we are able to get this value. So here we can give the name, this string name db. So same name we need to copy here and we need to paste here. If we can give different name and anything wrong here, so you are getting error when you are adding the migration. So is it clear? Okay, is it clear? Okay, so these are the basic step. Our next step is we need to add the migration and update database. So all the setup we are doing updated here. So let's open our database. So here our server name localhost, and here we can choose database engine and Windows authentication. I am disable here username and password. So here you can click on the connect. Okay, good. So our last step is, so same steps you need to follow any current operation. So this is the basic steps. So you have to clear these points because this is the important and basic things. If you are not able to answer, so it's very, like, this is the basic things. Why we use the app setting.json file, why we use a program. So here we can just our dependency, and here we can add our configuration related work put we can here. This is our main DB context class where it will track all the changes, anything you are updating, deleting. So all the things will be handled by anti-framework call. Before that, we can communicate with the help of row SQL query, but with the help of anti-framework, we can use link queue and we can communicate with the help of C# objects. And when it goes to in database, so it automatically convert these query. For example, you are selecting user by ID, so it will be converted here in the row SQL queries automatically. Yeah. So these things, all the things handled by anti-framework code. So that's why it's very important here. So three question is very important. Why we use the DB context, why we use the app setting, and why we use a program. So these are the very basic. So if you're fresher or experienced, you can clear these questions, why we need to add these things and why we need to add these three packages. So next thing is we can add the migration and update database. So here we are following code first approach. Firstly, we can create the this user table, and after that we are adding migration. And anti-framework core, we have a two types. First one is code first approach. Second one is a database first approach. So database first approach we can follow that time we have a already database and we just created class. So that time you don't need to add this DB context and user, it automatically created here. And any table that is created in the database, that automatically created here. You don't need to write uh, DB context class or this user table. So it automatically created when you can run that one command here. For now, we are using code first approach here. So here we need to add the migration. So add migration, and here we can give the name add user. table. So here we can try to give the proper name so anyone can easily understand which related. So you can see here not showing any folder related to migrations. So I can add this migration. I am explaining little bit in detail because some are connecting, like some are fresher or like they don't have created in any time. So I am also clearing the basic concept here also. So you can see your migration will be added here. ID is a primary key and the name, ID, email, username. So this will be created. These are all the string value and this is the migration folder. And this name we can give the migration. So same name will be created here. And the next thing is we need to run the command and we need to run update database. So these things now in memory and in your application not created in the database. So it only that time it will be created in database if you are running this command update database. So when you can run update database, then this database that we can write here, this database will be created in the here and also created this table. So let's see. Okay, now you can see this database in the here JWT token based authentication TV. So we need to refresh. So this is the basic step to make a connectivity your application with database. JWT token. JWT token based authentication DB. So it's created here and inside this one user table will be created. So first important question will be like important table will be this one and another important but like this is also important where your migration. So here our migration history will be maintained. Here it will be explained which version we are using here. So you can see here we are using 9.0.16 version. So same thing will be showing here 9.0.60 and this migration name we can give here. So this is our migration name last 4 to 9. So this same thing 4 to 9 will be added here. So in this migration history table, it will maintain all the history like which migration you are added, anything you can added, updated. So all the migration will be updated and all the history will be maintained in this table, anti-framework migration history table. Is it clear? Anyone have any doubt here? So these are the basic things. Anyone have any doubt here? You can type yes or no. Okay. Next thing is we are implemented here JWT configuration. So firstly, I want to next step also very simple. So we are implement here JWT token. So firstly, what we can do, firstly we can register the user, register the register the user. So here we can add all the ID name, all the things related to user. Firstly, we can register the user. So this is the simple add method you can say that we can do multiple times. So we can just simply make add method where we can add this user and we can create two or three user. So firstly, we can create here DTO because next thing is why we need DTO. So DTO is the data transfer object, DTO. So it means our one point is we can directly use our model. So why we use a DTO? DTO we can use for the security purpose. We can use for the security reason because we are not exposing our domain table, because we don't exposing our domain model, our domain table. And the next thing is, for example, I created user, and in the response I want to show which user will be created. But the thing is here also password will be added. So if I show this response, so anyone see the response here, because in the swagger, in the your history will be maintained. So anyone fetch your password. So this is the secure thing. So that thing I am not want to return in the response here. So that's why store the password in the database. We are simply we can pass here string value, but so this thing I don't want to return in the password. So that's why I can make a details for the security reasons also. And for example, in any time I just want name only. So that time I can also use the DTO, because if I pass our domain table directly, so every time it will fetch all the data from the database. So I don't want email, username and password. I just want this one. So that time I will create a separate DTO. So this is also used to improve the performance of your system. For example, I'm just explaining for you. So I want the name, so I can make the DTO and I can pass only this field. So in the database, I will fetching only this name only, not all the columns. So it will also helps to improve the performance of your system. So if you have a working in a live project, so that time these things are matter a lot. So that's why we can try to follow all these things. So I can make the folder DTO. So is it clear why we use the DTO? Next, I can create the folder DTO. So here I will create, here I will create user register DTO. In the register, I want all the thing. So in the register, when we are adding anything, we don't need to pass ID, because this is the primary key, auto increment, auto generated. We don't need to pass. So these things we need to pass. So I can copy these things and add in the user register DTO. Okay. Second thing is I will make user response DTO where I want the response. User response. So here I want all the things. I want ID, name, and username. I don't want password. So it's based on requirement which response you can bond. So that thing you can pass here. It's not fixed. If you don't want the ID, so you can remove the ID. If you don't want email, so that time you can remove that thing. So it's based on your requirement and what your front end developer, which response he was exposing. So that thing we can add it here. Like it's not fixed. You can add any value here. Okay. So these basic configuration we can add it here. Okay. So in our next step is we can create the interface. Firstly, I can create the folder here. I can create the folder services, and I will create here our services. Sorry, I can create inside one again folder, our services, and I can cut this and paste here. Here I will give the name user. I use the service. So here we are just following the solid principles. So that's why we can also follow the dependency injection. So we can use this interface and for the abstraction to achieve the dependency injection, and also multiple inheritance also we can achieve with the help of interface. So is it clear to everyone why we need to install, like why we need to use interface? Okay. So here firstly we can create the method. For now we just created the register method. Firstly we can register the user, after that we can add. Okay. Here we need to take the interface not class. So here we are using interface. So in the interface, we just declare the method, not give the definition. In interface, we just declare the method, not giving the implementation of the method. And next thing is we are able to achieve we are able to achieve the abstraction with the help of interface. So these are the practical question. You can give the answer like that way. Anyone ask you how you can achieve implement abstraction uh, in your project. So you can give the answer with the help of interface. We are able to achieve abstraction. We can able to achieve loose coupling with the help of interface. Next thing is we are able to implement dependency injection with the help of interface. So this is also very important question. We are able to implement dependency injection with the help of interface. And it's also next thing is in C sharp. Next important question will be related to this. In C sharp, we are able to achieve the multiple inheritance with the help of interface. So if you use the class with the help of class, you are not able to achieve multiple inheritance. With the help of interface, we are able to achieve the multiple inheritance. So is it clear? So here I can cover three questions side by side. Why we use interface, what how we can implement dependency injection, how we can achieve multiple inheritance Sisha. So these are all the interview perspective important question. Is it clear? These three questions. I also write here all the questions. So important question will be here that we can cover. What is the entity framework core? Why we use, so please side by side cover these questions. Why we use program.cs, why these are all interview important question. Why we use app settings.json file. What is the anti framework core? What is the EF core? What is dependency injection, and how we can achieve multiple inheritance. And next question, what is the interface? So these questions we can cover here, and also here we also follow the single response solid principle we can follow here. So in the user table, we are only added that things are related to a solve single responsibility related to user. So this is also important question. What is the single responsibility principle? Next thing is open clause principle means this interface will be open for extension but closed for modification. So that also we can cover here. What is the open closed principle? Okay, so these questions we already covered here. So we are created this user. Next we can do the implementation of this interface. Is it clear or have any doubt? Is it clear for everyone? So if anyone have any question, you can message me here. Any question related to this. Anurag ID name. What's your question? I can't understand. ID name. You can type properly. I can't understand. Mm, When the course started. So you can watch all the videos here. If you want here, I will show you. So I already created here one group. So you can see all the video in detail. So you can go to here in the playlist, and here all the almost 11 classes completed. So here you are able to watch all the videos. So here it will be managed in one like serial wise. You can start it from first, and this is your 12th. Yes. So this is your 11th class, I think. Yeah. This is your 11th class. Okay. Okay. Is it clear? So you are able to watch all the videos from start, then you can understand. Work API. Okay, so you can start from, because in the started I can start all the things in very basic way. You can easily understand. So try to watch all the video from first to last. Okay. Okay, how it will work in JWT Docker. So that implementation we can do. Firstly, we are just registering the user. Simple, you can take a post method. We are adding or registering the user. After that, we can log in the user with the help of valid username and password. If that user will be login with valid username and password, so that time we can generate the token. So that is very important topic because we are doing authentication and authorization. So all things will be handled by JWT tokens, and multiple website we can use same authentication here. So that's why it's a very important topic. So we'll explain. Firstly, we can register the user. After that, we can create the token. Firstly, we can register that user. So private. Here we need to inject our application DB context. Public. So here we are not using any auto mapper. We are using here manual mapping. So firstly, I can add it this one. So here from the swagger, I can pass this value user registered video that we can write here. Like these things, name, email, and user and password. And after that, because we are using here DTO. So firstly, we need to convert our DTO model DTO to our domain table that is user, because our database not understand DTO. He will understand the user table only. So firstly, we can convert our all the data here. We don't need to pass the ID. ID is the auto generated, so we don't need to pass the ID here. And we can pass this name. We can convert a name is equal to user register.dto, and after that we can added these changes and convert it to save save changes sync, because we are save that changes in the database. After that, I again want to return this user response dto. So that time our domain table and domain table will be user, but in the response I want to pass this DTO, so I can convert this to DTO user response DTO. So here we can do manual mapping. This is the manual mapping. Here we can do the manual mappings. Okay, so here we can just register the user. Next thing is we need go to controller and create controller here. So API empty controller. You can give the name user. So here we can implement dependency injection with the help of interface. So if you are not implement dependency injection, we need to write all the code directly here. So we are using dependency injection here. So that's why we can privately we can inject here interface here. So private read only interface, I user interface, and we can use this just use the register DTO. And the thing is, here we are using HTTP post method because we are adding a new record here, and we can give this register name, and here we can get the data, and you can see here we can achieve the abstraction. Here we are able to achieve the abstraction. How we are able to achieve the abstraction? The abstraction means you can see here we are just here calling the method that we can put here. This method we are calling here. So here we are just declaring the method, not any implementation. So here we can hide the code. Abstraction means hiding the code, and its implementation we can put here. So you can see its implementation we can put here in the register table. Sorry, in the service here. So if we go to implementation, so you can, sorry, this is the say, go to implementation. Why it goes here? User assigned task. User service interface. Go to definition. I can rebuild. Bytes redirect to here. Okay, so it's a, I think it will be a mistake. I don't know why it's going to redirect. Okay, because we are not inherited here. So here we need to inherit the user services. Then we are go to definition here. We are doing the implementation, but we are not. For example, if I so that time you can see you are getting higher. So it will be want you can do the implementation, implement this interface. So that's why it's not redirect. You can save this, and now if go to implementation. So this is the implementation we can do. And here we can achieve the encapsulation. Here we can achieve oops concept set, that is encapsulation. So encapsulation means all the business logic we can put here, all the data and method together we can put here. We are not exposing, but we can writing anything. So all the code we are hiding here. We are just exposing the name that we can put here in the interface. So that's why we are achieved to abstraction, and here we can do all the implementation. So is it clear, or anyone have any doubt here? Okay. So last thing will be, anyone have any question here? Anyone have any question here? Okay, last in the last we need to register that dependency here, builder.services.add scope. and then we can run here. So all the setup will be done. Now we can run this API and register new user. And I also added here breakpoint, so you have idea how it will be working. So here, for example, I'm adding here um, at the rate 123 password. Same, you can write the password. So I can. So here you get the breakpoint. In here you can get these values, and also I can put here, and you go down. You are here. So firstly it will be do the manual mapping. After that it will be adding, and this is the response will be show. Okay, here we are getting error here. It's not. So why giving this error here? This error will be related to ID. So okay, variable user. ID is a string we can write here. Okay, this is wrong. ID is the int value, not. So we need to add the migration first. Add migration, update user table. Okay, migration. So every time your ID will be int or god, good. You're getting error here. Okay, first we need to fix the error. Here we need to take ID definition. Okay. So now we are able to add the migration, and then update database. Okay, now we can to change the identity property column needs dropped or recreated. Let's check here. Okay, now it will be created. Or what we can do here, I can rename this user table. For now, can rename. I give the name user. Here and we need to change in DB context class here. Okay, everyone is should be okay. Then again we can create it the migration. We are adding new table, not changing the previous one. User model table and update database. Oh, sorry. Here I need to change the name because this name is already created in database. So if I want to remove any migration, so I will run this command remove migration. So I am getting any error. So here also we need to pass user models. Okay, then fixed. Then add migration. So why it's giving this one? So let's check here. Okay, it's giving error related to this because the identity property for the column needed to dropped. Okay, let's go. Yeah, we need to run the command. So also we need to remove this migration. Hmm, remove from yes, so we also need to remove this migration. Okay. And next thing is we also remove this migration folder. So we are created from scratch now. Hope so it will be working. Okay, so it's working and here created a new table. This one. So ID will be int. Mistakenly we can set it string. So that's why you're getting error. So let's run this. So every time your ID will be int and good. So I can add new user here. So your response you are getting here and request value, then go here. Here it will be converted in the domain model. Then it will be save these changes in the database and then it will be return the response. Here we are getting this response. We are not exposing our password here and this record will be also added here. Okay, so this is the basic register or add method we can do. In the next class, we will do how we can implement JWT configuration. So we need to add configuration here in the app setting, and after that we need to add some package to use JWT token related to the JWT token. So here we need to add some packages here. So this is done for today class. In the next class, we will understand how we can log in with the username and password and how we can generate the token. So is it clear? Anyone have any question? You can message me here. Okay, I will try to speak loudly. Already I can speak loudly, but I can fix this issue. Anyone have any question? You can message me here, or I am just closing this class. Okay, so this is done for today class. I hope so. Tomorrow, same time, 8 to 9 morning. So your class will be here. And yeah, anyone have any question here? So today we are not doing any like advanced thing. These are the basic things we are just added or just a one user and basic configuration we are doing here. The next class will be important where we can use JWT. That is very important. How we can authentication, authorization, how we can do practically. And this is the very important topic in the interview perspective. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please comment, share. It's really motivates me to make the next video. So if this class is beneficial for you, so you can comment down. So I will review your comments. And if you have any question, you can also ask in the comments. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.